Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I'm Roger Wakefield, and this is Squirt. And we get to do this every day. We come in here and talk trades, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing, welding, sometimes pipe fitting. Don't know why, but, we do. If you've been here before, welcome back. We're glad you came. If you're new here, hang around, check it out, and, see what you think about it. We get to do this every day. We have fun. We love what we do. So come be part of the ride. Make it fun with us. Square, how are you?
That's it, man. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. We are almost there.
I was fixing to say, God, it's Friday already?
Almost, and, hey, tomorrow for us here, it's a half day. So, it kind of feels like it's almost Friday already. Good morning, everybody. I'm Henry Wakefield, a.k.a. Randy Squirt. You'll hear them all and then some more. I am the CEO of Leak Pro, and we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. They've got a couple different pieces of equipment, one for indoor, one for outdoor. Definitely check out the website and take a look at the equipment. That is www.leak-pro.com. But also, I do a 2-day in-person training. If you don't know anything about leak detection and you would like to add it to a list of services for your plumbing company, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss how we can go about adding that to your list.
Pretty cool stuff. And I got to tell you, I get asked all the time, Roger, what did you do to really grow your business? And I started looking at services that other people weren't providing. Leak detection was the easiest one to get in. And it's not super expensive. It's easy to learn, and it leads to a lot more work. When you become that person that can come out and find leaks on the job, and guys, most of the people coming in for training right now tell us the reason they're coming in is the people that normally do their leak detection are 6 weeks out.
That's it.
That's crazy. All right. So let's jump into the national news and start out with Doosan, because here's the deal. There we go. Doosan launches AI-driven excavators. Now, this is something Randy's been talking about.
That's it.
We need y'all to give us one, because I got some excavation work I want to get done. But they're launching AI-driven excavators in the U.S. market. And guys, AI is becoming big. I got my first autonomous car, which is AI-driven, in Austin, Texas. And it took me about an hour to go a mile down the road.
Okay. Yep.
Mile and a half, because this car will not jump out in front of anybody. It's waiting on perfection.
Yeah.
And that bugs me. But AI-driven excavation equipment in an open field?
It's not full control yet.
Okay, wait a minute.
Right now, they've introduced AI-assisted excavators.
Okay.
With features like automated grading. Okay, we've discussed that some for out here. Remote diagnostics. Okay, so that it can make different changes and adjustments through AI. Also, precision bucket control. I know you're going to love this, because guess what? You need it sloped, just plug it in. AI is going to dig it perfect. Some of the things that this does, though, is it makes adjustments. Like, whenever you're digging through that hard to get through, you need to ramp that motor up a little bit. It's going to make these adjustments for that to keep the digging smooth and easy. Okay. Oh, got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Waiting for the room.
Okay, sorry about that.
Aimed at reducing operator fatigue and leveling the playing field for less experienced crews. And I've had some operators that are amazing, that can dig, slope, and grade, no problem. They're just like, no, my hands know exactly what to do. But then I've also had some of those operators that struggle at getting it right. And as an apprentice, you're the guy that's dealing with, throw all that dirt back in because I pulled out too much. And that's a pretty normal thing. So AI, it's becoming the new thing to do here. The AI uses machine learning to optimize movement patterns. This is going to save up to 30% in fuel cost, according to the field test they've ran.
So does that mean you can go out there and scream and yell at it, say, dude, you're wasting too much fuel, and it's going to think about what it's doing and up its game a little bit?
There's probably a little robot built into it that's constantly saying that. Are you wasting fuel? Are you wasting fuel? Please check, please check. And it's going to consistently be making adjustments.
Man, this is just crazy.
To do it. Like, because it's all computer. Like, Man, it can make adjustments quicker than we can if it's programmed and trained right.
I like that.
Some examples here, you know, compared to the early GPS equipped dozers, where does AI shift from assist to full
That's
autonomy?
what I want to say. I want to be able to just pick up my phone and say, hey, go dig me a pond,
Yep.
14 feet deep. I want it to be about 2 acres. Go.
Okay, so here's the quick thought here.
Okay.
When did Tesla come out? Because that's when AI first started playing into cars. When did it come out?
It had to come out before that because the AI, because
Correct.
they had the samples, they were playing with them and all
This
that.
AI assist has been out for a little, like they started this a few years back. This started becoming a thing with the 360-degree views of all the way around the equipment. Something we talk about safety-wise a lot. That's so amazing. But with here, all the AI assist, it's the way I'm thinking is, okay, you had Tesla, it came out, and then how many years till the autonomous car came? Here you have AI assisted excavators. X amount of years, you're probably going to have automatic robotic excavators. It'll be coming. Now, the question, would you trust an AI excavator digging near live gas lines?
You know, my thought on that is I know real live human excavators I would not trust near gas
That's
lines.
what I'm saying. Like, that's my thought. I figured it'd be a good question.
No, and
'cause-
it is. I mean, there's got to be a setup in there to say, hey, you know, I'm pulling on something that's too hard here.
Yep.
Is this a route? Does this need somebody's human eyes on it? Or are there human eyes down there, or are there eyeballs? Then they're built into the bucket where it can see what it's taking. That way, if it sees that bright yellow line, it's like, hey, wait, stop.
I like that.
You know, hey, talk to me. I get a 10% commission just for doing what I do. I want to jump here. Recession Proof real quick has a comment. It says, the Trade Talks Live. Good morning, guys. I'm looking for a certified plumbing qualifier in Miami, Florida. I want to start a septic tank cleaning company with a vacuum truck. I would get on social media and find Omar the plumber. He's in Miami. He's a great guy. And then Matt says, Mr. Miyagi of Plumbing and Squirt. What's up, brothers? Go Leak Pro. Happy Thursday. Yeah, Randy calls this Friday Eve.
Friday Eve,
I'm
baby.
just telling
Woo.
you, he's already thinking for the weekend. All right, we're going to jump into website review. And we're talking today about the engineeringtoolbox.com.
Yep.
And I've looked at this channel many, many, many times. But it's like having a cheat sheet for everything. Pipe friction loss, duct sizing, unit conversions, steam properties, and so much more. Oh, and I thought you were pulling it up over there. And so much
I was
more.
going to. Well, you were using some.
Oh, was I?
It's kind of a basic site. There's not a whole lot here, guys. It's a very useful tool site though, because if in construction, there's so many different calculations and things that we've got to think about.
And we're not engineers. We don't have them all memorized in our head.
That's it.
And most engineers don't, to be
We
honest.
don't. And this is one that I used multiple times throughout my years, and it just triggered my brain. I was like, you know what? Let's add this one out there because some people don't know about it. Like, guys, go through this thing and tear into it. Have some fun. Learn some different things, some steam, things like that, friction loss, expansion, contraction. It's going to have vessel sizing. Just there's so many different things in the engineering toolbox. Yes, it's a lot for design and, you know, people that are actually doing the drawings and design of a building or something. But there's so many things that you can learn for your different trades through here also. And my favorite's the little calculators and tools that it has built into this site because it's so useful.
And it's good stuff. Now, this site is not only used by engineers, also tradespeople. It's one of the most cited resources in HVAC and plumbing forums. And it's talked about a lot. Key tools to show off live. The friction loss calculator, which is great. You've got to understand it when you're sizing for pumps and systems. Electrical wire size tables. Ventilation rate guidelines for various building types. And remember this, bookmark it in your phone browser. You can use it on site during bids or inspections to sound like the smartest person in the meeting. So great thing to do, great thing to think about. It's nice to have it. We're going to roll into business growth. And I like this because it's hiring from trade schools versus online job boards. Because look, in an online job board, I'm going to tell you, I'm the president of the United States. You're just getting lucky to get to hire me.
Yeah.
You can, what was it? Brad Paisley's got a song, something like that. Says on social media, I'm 6'4" and, you know, I'm buff and I work out every day and all this. Says, but really, I live at home in my parents' basement. Yeah, you know, here's the thing. I like trade schools. I really do. I think there's some good benefits to them. And they don't even have to be like a 1 or 2 year trade school. I like those trade schools you can go into for 8 weeks, get hands-on experience. You know how to do things. We're going to end up building one of them one day. I'm just telling you. But go ahead. What are the benefits of trade schools or the online boards?
One of the biggest thing, you're going to get some fresh talent out of there. And the major thing is their basic training is done. Okay. And then also them coming out of a trade school, they are so eager to learn the real world.
Yeah, because they've learned it in a controlled environment.
That's it. They learned it in a school.
Yep.
They did some trainers and things like that. They're so eager to get out there and actually deal with a customer, a client, a real house, a real problem or issue out in the world. Now, something to remember, though, is you may need to shape work ethic and field behavior because they were in this training environment in this school, not actually out anywhere.
Okay, but before we go, I want to look at this comment real quick. Okay, first of all, recession proof. You're welcome. Omar the plumber's great. He's a wonderful guy. Javier Salazar says, good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for your guys' knowledge, expertise, and time. It's really appreciated and helpful for our growth in the profession. God bless you. God bless you, and thank you.
Yes, sir.
Javier, here's what I'll tell you and everybody else watching right now. You know, take a selfie of you watching us, tag it as the Trade Talks Live on YouTube. Put your name or share it. You tag us, though. My team will share it, and we'll tell our team to also share it over on my channels through our social media. So that way, man, it'll help draw attention to all y'all. So tag it, share it, let other tradespeople see what all you're learning from. So I like that. Okay, now what about the job board type?
Okay, so job boards, it's going to be a wider pool, but definitely
Not
more
very deep. It's shallow.
Yes.
It's wide. That's why I like the way you said that. Look, it's a wider pool.
It's a wider pool,
but it's only this deep.
It's super shallow, and there's so much more unpredictable quality that you're going to get from this because just like you said, you're the president. I'm so lucky to get you to work for me. Am I though? Like,
You know,
did you really run the country or
I
not?
didn't join the Navy because they wouldn't let me be admiral.
There you go. See, exactly.
I went down. I said, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna be the admiral.
Also, with job boards, some are going to job hop. That's something that
That's
you really
why
got to
they're
look out
on the
for.
job board.
That's it. And then also they can come from outside of the trades, not knowing
many are
anything
not really
about
plumbers.
it, never have stepped foot into the White House, much less be the president already. Okay. So like some good examples here. A Texas contractor hired 3 students from a local trade school and trained them in-house. Retention rate was 100% over 2 years.
Wow.
The con here, one plumber posted on a Craigslist ad and had 4 no-shows in a week.
Welcome to the world.
4 no-shows in a week, guys. I hear about that all around the country too.
And
It's a
Randy,
sad
you
thing.
get those on people that they want to schedule a call to talk,
Yep.
and then they no show. That they don't reply, they don't do anything, and you've sent them reminders and confirmations and everything. And that may be a good thing to do. An hour before, send them a confirmation, say, hey, you have to actually click on this and say, yeah, I'm going to be there for me to show up.
They get 10 minutes. I call 5 minutes after now, okay? And that has turned into a 25% turnover rate because most of them are actually dealing with a problem and issue on the job. So that's why they didn't get to make that meeting that they booked ahead of time.
So what that tells me, they're firefighters. They're not fire prevention
That's right.
officers.
Yep.
They don't have their business set up where they don't have to handle every emergency. Get off my high horse. I'm just saying.
Another good tip here, set up interviews with a test day, run them in a mock call or a supply run. And I think that's so smart to do, to actually stick them in a situation, but it's not a real situation with a real customer that they can actually screw it up for the company. Run them through these test procedures. Also,
if you can get them to show up for the interview,
that's it. Yeah, if you can get them to show up. Also, consider earn while you learn internships through your local school as a feeder system. And I think that's a pretty good one because
I do like that.
you're going to I feel like that's kind of how the union was, because for the apprenticeship, it's boom, here's how many years it is. Here's how much your pay will go up as you complete these semesters and these
Is that always fair, though? Is that always a good way? And I'm asking because when you were a fifth-year apprentice,
correct?
were there people in your class that couldn't do the things you did?
Guaranteed.
So is it worth it that y'all are making the same amount of money?
It's the minimum.
Oh, meaning you weren't making the minimum.
Well, yes, the companies love to pay me the minimum, what was
'Cause
required,
highest
because
profit
then
margin.
they are making
You
more
bet.
profit off of me because I'm good at what I do, which is fine. And
So you need to learn to be a better hooker than I was.
as a member,
Or as good a hooker as I was.
That's it. Like, I didn't put myself out enough. I didn't know enough people to actually get
He didn't
people
know me.
to fight for me.
He didn't know me. He could have said, "Hey, Dad," that's what John did. John said, "Man, look, I'm stuck." It's like,
So
"Oh no,
one-
you're not."
One thing, just so y'all all know, I never enjoyed riding my daddy's coattail.
No,
ever.
and you never did.
So, and that's it.
Matter
Like,
of
I
fact,
set
let's talk
myself.
about that a minute because we'll talk, and this is true.
Yeah. Like,
Randy never did. Most people in the union, they had to ask, "Wait, are you related to Roger Wakefield?" And half the times, I still think he said no. But I mean, I had a superintendent call me one day, and Randy went through a phase where he's like, "Look, I'm tired of work. I'm frustrated. I'm
Oh,
just,"
yeah.
and he'd come in late. He'd leave early. Every other day, a different daughter is sick, and every other day, his father died. And I'm like, "No, y'all, I'm still here." But I had a superintendent call me one day. He says, "Man, look, I need to talk to you about your son." I said, "Okay." He said, "Man, he ain't showing up, and I don't know what to do." I said, "Well, go ask him what I'd do." He said, "What would you do?" I said, "I'd fire him."
Yep.
He says, "Really?" He said, "Roger, this is your son." I said, "That's okay. He's got to learn."
That's it.
And Kenny walks up and says, "Hey, all this coming in late and leaving early, what would your dad do?" He said, "He'd fire me." He said, "Okay, you're fired." He says, "Okay, I understand. Take off for a few days or a week or whatever and go back down the hall and go out to work for another company and got that mindset like, okay, you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to do okay." But it
That's
takes
it.
that.
Life lessons, and
I learned bad
happens.
lessons, let me tell you.
that's it.
I
Like,
wish mine was just Dad told him to
Was that
fire me.
simple, yeah.
I'm good.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and he did. He gave me an opportunity. He was like, "Look, next week if you're here, you got to be here on time every day." And it was Thanksgiving week, and I was like, "Oh, I'll be able to do this. It's 3 days." I actually,
Made it the first two.
I actually was sick as a dog. I couldn't. There was no way I could
Oh, I'd
make
come
it to
in,
the
thrown
car.
up in the office, said, "Look, I'm here."
Well, that's what they were trying to say. Well, you just better get here. And I said, "Look, I can't even make it to the car
Yeah.
without making a mess of myself. So no, it's not going to happen. You got to fire me. You fire me, bud. Have fun with it."
But here's the thing. Had he not been doing
That's
this
right.
for the previous weeks,
I would've
they'd have
been
been
fine.
like, "Yeah, you're
Yep,
good. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Hey, don't worry about coming in. Enjoy Thanksgiving. If you survive, you're good to go."
I
So
had
yeah.
already made my mistakes, and I did pay my consequences.
You bet, but you know what?
And that's part of it.
When he and I'm gonna say the word grew up, and that's not really what it is. I think the growing up part is, and I know we're not even talking about service work, but I think this is good. When Randy first came to me and said, "Hey, I want to get a job in the union," I said, "No, you don't." I said, "Look, you need to get out and get jobs. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to come in late. You're going to leave early. You're going to not feel like coming in one day. Go do that somewhere else. That way you don't ruin your name in the union."
Yep.
And about a year and a half, 2 years later, he came in and says, "Look, I've learned a lot. I think I'm ready." I said, "Okay, then I'll help you," and I did. Okay, we're gonna fly through service work here, but water heater flushes. This is a good one. Flat rate or time and material, and I love talking about this because I believe in flat rate if you have it set up right. Now, good for predictability and bundling into maintenance plans. At flat rate, I was doing flushes for about $350, $375 about 5 or 6 years ago because I'm there for about a full hour. I would hook it all up. I'd flush it good. I mean, I'd clean up the mess. I'd do everything. But also during this process, I would do a whole home inspection. Say, "Hey, look, while I'm here, while it's flushing, I'm just going to go ahead and walk through. I'm going to check your furnace. I'm going to check your lavatories. I'm gonna check your kitchen sink. Just make sure everything's working good and you don't have any leaks, any problems, anything you didn't know about. I'd make sure there's no toilets running, no flappers leaking, anything at all. So I was there, I was doing something. It wasn't just hook up a hose, go sit in the van for an hour, come back, disconnect it, and say, there, you're good. But T&M, this is safer for unique situations like sediment heavy tanks or inaccessible units. Now, I don't give them a price until I show up because we had a service fee. Meaning, I'll come to your house for $79. I'll do an inspection to see where's the water heater. Is it inaccessible? Is this going to take longer to do? Is this going to take me another person? Am I going to be able to get anything into the valve? So there's a lot of different things that I would do. But you've got to understand that from the beginning. So in hard water areas like we have here in Texas, flushing annually can add years to the life of your water heater. Not just your tank, but your tankless too. So you want to do a little bonus here? Show some before and after sediment dump videos on your website. Make a video. Hey, this is and we've done the video. Y'all could probably steal footage off ours. But I'm joking. I was joking. That's the disclaimer right there. I was joking. But we've made videos showing you how to do it. Train an apprentice to do it. Go show him how and let him do it. Yep. Just keep a really close eye on him because he has to be under direct supervision. But do that. Guys, that is marketing brilliance. Let people see it. Then they're like, wow, they know what they're doing. There's this thing out there called YouTube. Don't know if y'all know about it. I know y'all don't, or y'all be over there. There's this thing called YouTube where people go to search how to do stuff. And when they see you're in their area and it's kind of messy or it's kind of hard to do, or, hey, you can run into problems with a valve.
Yep.
They want you to do it then. Not a bad deal. And it really does. The flush debris shows value to the customers because they're like, wow, there really is stuff in there.
Yeah.
They hear you talking about flushing. If
like,
they don't believe it, it's like you're just running water out.
Show them what you're tearing out of it. If it's pictures or if you just put a basket and actually walk over with it. Now that.
Put a
they'll never forget it.
What's that thing called? A
basket strainer?
Well,
in a sense.
the big metal sieve or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically a metal screen.
Yep.
Flush it through it. And then you've got it full of it. And then you can take to it and say, hey, just want to let you know, this is what all came out of your water here.
Yep.
And they're like, wait, what?
Yeah, this is what you shower in every day.
Yeah, you've been heating this up before it'll heat up your water every day.
Yep.
So kind of crazy stuff. Okay. And guys, that always leads to more work. And if you're selling them a new water heater, include those in your price and say, look, we're going to come back every year for the next 5 years and flush it. Put something like that in there. All right. Material, equipment, and tools. And tools are my favorite thing. I love tools.
That's it. We're talking Sparkies today, guys.
Oh.
Sorry, I know.
I bet you don't have broom on here.
No. It was at the very bottom of the list, below the whale crab, at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. It just didn't make it. We're going to talk about the top 5 hand tools that electricians swear by. And, side cutting pliers, that's the first one. Something I saw the other day, they're saying Klein is for the old school and Milwaukee's for the new school.
You bet.
So, hey, whatever. And when you are dealing with electrical.
I do have some Milwaukee side cutters.
Yeah.
And they're nice.
Guys, these you use to cut wire. You can use them to pull the fish tape, knock out stubborn connections, different things, guys. Side cutters are used so much in electrical. I'm learning that even more, even with the circuitry and stuff I don't have side cutters because that's too big for the electrical I deal with.
I don't know. You cut wires out over here. I mean, I could loan you mine if you want to try.
I've been getting some smaller tools for the things I do in my circuitry.
See Randy?
Yeah, I work in that little bitty space.
He's working right here.
That's where all my work happens. Yeah,
he's kind of like a dentist. He gets to
go in
work
this little bitty
in
space.
a little bitty tight space and do all his work.
Another good tool here, voltage tester, non-contact style. Okay, Fluke's one of the tops. I mean, it's been out there forever, I feel like. But the key here,
I love my field piece.
Yeah.
I was
exactly.
an HVAC guy, so I've got a field piece. But look, Fluke is a name everybody knows.
Yeah, and mainly that's for your electricians.
You bet.
Those non-broom users. But the key here, guys, is safety first. You want to identify live wires before you even start working, and that's the key as to why this is at the top of the list.
Now, this next one, as a plumber, is one of my favorite tools to have.
Yes. We're calling out Milwaukee 11-in-1 screwdriver. Less bulk and more functionality. And guys, it is like I always have a multi-use screwdriver in just about every toolbox or bag I ever have because they're so versatile. They do so many different things and everything is right there ready to go. So electricians, yes, I agree with you here. Ideal Strip Master wire strippers for fast, consistent, and ergonomic.
And that's something an electrician uses all day, every day.
I was going to say, I finally bought some Knipex wire strippers for my tiny wires so that I can keep super consistent on the distance and everything. I just did that a few weeks ago, and it was like, okay, yeah, let me get away from all the manual. Let's go more precise and repeatable so that it's consistent, and that's what I really like about that. The most important, and I love this being a pipe fitter, is a torpedo level. But you want one with the rare earth magnets because it's not going to let go unless you really knock the crap out of it.
Yeah.
It's critical for conduit installs and box alignment, guys. As a fitter, I really love it with the earth magnets because I could put it on either side of a flange or whatever,
and you
do
don't have
my
to worry
thing,
about it.
and it's not going anywhere unless somebody hits it, and then it's gonna hit the ground.
Okay, so here's the deal: build your toolbox slowly. Okay, you don't have to run out. As a matter of fact, if you're just getting started in the trades, maybe think about going to a pawn shop. Can you get some of these tools
Higher
here?
ends.
And you might be able to get a higher end tool at a lower price because you're buying it at a pawn shop. I prefer that instead of going to the big box store and buying a no name brand, which for under $100 we put together some pretty good tool bags.
Man, we can
Okay, but they're not going to last
it's not
forever.
gonna last. Yeah, that's it.
But if you're a homeowner DIYer that just kind of does something every now and then, that might be a good way to do it. But if you're in the trades, and truthfully, all these tools we just talked about, I can see how every one of those could be used by HVAC technicians and plumbers too. So do that. But start with a quality pair of the lineman pliers, not a cheap kit.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Squirt, tell us about Leak Pro.
Man, speaking of tools, I'm Henry Wakefield.
When you said speaking of tools, you mean me saying Squirt or Leak Pro?
Well,
You're
all
a
of the
tool to me.
above.
I
I
know.
know. I'm just a tool in the
Just
bucket.
another tool in the bucket.
Sucks because I'm not a welder.
Mess
So
you up, didn't I? He's like,
that's
man,
who belongs
I'm
in the
just
bucket,
a tool
guys.
now.
But I do. I build Leak Pro. I build the right tools to put in plumbers' hands so that they can do leak detection themselves. And what I do, I build two different pieces of equipment, guys. I've got a probe, T-handle style with a stainless steel rod. That's real durable for your outdoor leaks, kind of that meter to the home service, irrigation lines, things like that. But also I build a sidekick, and that's the pistol grip style with the aluminum rod. And that aluminum rod, it enhances the sound even more so that whenever you're listening through a slab or you go indoors, you're going to be able to listen through everything, and it's going to eliminate those layers whenever you're trying to pinpoint this leak. If you don't know anything about it, guys, I do a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas. I teach you how to locate lines. Then we go through, I've got 11 leaks under a slab. It's extra thick, so they're really hard to find. But you leave after you locate every single one of them. You learn to pinpoint locate those. I've got one just outside of the slab so that you know what an underground leak sounds like too. But also, guys, I've got a couple of sewer systems set up. One cast iron, one PVC, so that you can learn how to go out to the double clean out outside of a home, go through and isolate branch lines from that main so that you can determine exactly where a sewer is leaking for things that you can't see on just a camera. But if you want to talk about the training, give me a call direct at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to talk about that. If you want, check out the website. You can kind of look at the equipment and browse through there. It's www.leak-pro.com. And, feel free to give me a call, and I'll be happy to discuss it with you.
And I just got to thinking too, whenever we move the mobile home, we could, you talk about moving that over there, we can make it even bigger. And then we could drill and tap and put valves in it so we can actually create leaks and show us how to isolate that and prove it.
Maybe.
So great ideas here. Well, we're always looking at how to make it better. And also, guys, if you're the owner of the company and you come in for the training, me and you will sit down. We'll talk about how to make your phone ring, how to get you more business doing what you want to do. That works. Leak Pro's amazing. All right, MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and panel labeling. Why it's still done wrong and how to fix it. Now, this is something that me as a plumber, I love when I walk into a house and look at a panel and everything is there.
Oh,
and
okay. I was about to say, and everything's blank. Like most of them
I love
find.
when I love it when I walk in and it's
Yes.
labeled properly.
Yeah.
Because normally it's not.
That's it. Yeah.
But the NEC requires accurate and legible labeling of all circuit breakers. Common issues using pencil, that goes away. Vague descriptions like outlets. Well, there's outlets from one end to the other, or missing labels completely. So what are the best practices? Use a thermal printer. Now, I love the Brother P-Touch. I've used those for pulling wires for my theater, for speakers in the house, for all kinds of stuff. But include the room name and the load description. So master bath GFCI, vanity lights. Anything that you need to put on there, that way somebody knows exactly what it is.
Yep.
And if you're on service calls, read a label as a value add service. Even offer it as part of a maintenance plan.
Ooh, I like that.
That's big. We had actually made valves and they had these small zip ties where we could go to and put a valve on things and it explained to people what it is. Whole house water shut off. Even the valves at the water heater or under your lavatories, hot water shut off, cold water shut off. Let them know.
Yep.
It does. It helps them a lot. But a mislabeled panel in a Dallas home led to a team shocking themselves twice because kitchen was actually the washing machine.
Yeah. And you hear about that a lot.
You do.
It's mainly from the missing labels more than anything. And I feel like all my life growing up in every home we ever lived in, there might have been a couple that were written in pen occasionally. Not too often, unless somebody came in after the fact and did it. So I'm glad that this is becoming a requirement in Sparky's. Label your stuff. Let the people know what they're actually jacking with, because
Wait a minute. Wait.
I don't like getting shocked.
I wonder if the label maker's kind of like the broom. They've got a bone in their hand that's broke, so for some reason it won't fit.
Well, hopefully it's on top of that whale crap that broom's hiding under.
Yeah, you never know. All right, we're gonna go ahead and roll over into where the work is. I tell you what, but first I'm gonna jump in some comments here real quick. Matt McDonough says trade schools sometimes will remove the bad apples. Isn't that the truth? Keep calm, plumb on, and Woodford Reserve on.
Right.
Roger, I'm an auto mechanic by trade, and we have the exact same problem. The new generation seems entitled and unwilling to learn or work at a trade that requires effort. Most don't show up for work. I think you've got to sell the value of the long term. What's in it for them? That's what everybody wants with them. What's in it for me? If you explain, look, if you show up and learn how to do this, you understand you're going to make more money. You're going to grow. You're going to get better opportunities. You're not going to have to do the crappy work. Mm-hmm. Okay? So things like that are great. Nicholas Watson says, and always wipe twice. Not if you got a bidet toilet seat.
Another good one there for the mechanic, just like you kind of told me a long time ago, is, guys, computers will never take over service plumbing. Somebody's got to go in and figure out the issues and problems. Mechanic, yeah, you can hook up some of these machines to tell you the problems. Mm-hmm. You still got to go in and fix it. There's until we have a true robot that can like replace everything a human does, it's not going to be able to do these things yet. So explain that computers aren't just going to take that job from them ever.
I think lawyers are pretty much on the way out
Yeah.
because AI can write up anything now.
Yep.
I was thinking about this yesterday, sitting in the chair at my dentist office getting my teeth cleaned. The dental hygienist, AI is not going to take over her job.
Nope.
It's just not going to happen. So look at jobs like that. Look at what computers or robots will never be able to do. Matt says, it is truly hard to balance life and work, but the lessons we learn make us better at time management. Yes, indeed. Matt also says, haha, throw the broom and watch them run. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how you
but if
break up
do,
an electrician.
you
huddle
just throw a
quick.
broom right in the middle of them and they'll run. Javier says, oh yeah, avoids extra trips to the truck. Anytime you can avoid trips to the truck, you're doing good.
That's it.
Matt says, I love my stubby multi-tool. I've got one of those too. I hadn't seen it lately, but I've got one. I thought that was great. For the ice machines, I make sure to use my strong hand. There you go. Tell us about that Leap Pro. We did. Okay.
Where's the work? Summer's coming.
It's here.
And every year, guys, K through 12 school projects are funded for that summer kickoff. And I used to enjoy doing this occasionally, not all the time. Schools do kind of get old, but guess what? If that's your bread and butter, just keep on buttering that bread, baby, because it's out there and summer is coming. So federal and state funds are being released for HVAC retrofits, plumbing upgrades, and ADA compliance
And that's a big
across
one right there.
multiple districts.
Yep.
That's it. To make ADA compliant, that does a lot of different changes and things, building rent, all sorts of things at different places.
And here's what it is. Like some of these buildings that don't have it, well, they hadn't done any changes since it became required, so they don't have to.
That's it.
And they're like, look, well, we're grandfathered in, but like restaurants, things that wanted to stay open had to do that. Well, now when you go in and make any changes, well, you've got to upgrade everything.
That's it.
So that's where they get you.
And the key here, many districts are rushing to complete this work between May and August, guys,
Why's
because
that?
school has to reopen. And guess what? It's great for tradespeople because sometimes the schedules are completely ridiculous. So you end up getting to work a lot of OT, knocking these things out to try to get them open on schedule. Because guess what? Opening date of school does not really ever move.
Yeah.
Unless there's just something major happens.
Yep.
But it does not move. So it's there. Where to look? Check city and ISD bid boards. That way you can try to find some of this work. An example, Fort Worth ISD is upgrading HVAC in 9 schools. Bids close April 25th. You ain't got long.
You better hurry. You got 8 days.
And a good strategy tip here, guys, is even if you don't win that bid, reach out to the GC as a sub, because sometimes they need a little help to get that last push done. Schools often need backup contractors when projects fall behind. And I've been sent out, way out, West Texas, to go try to finish some schools so that we could open on time because it's that crucial. And, well, whenever a company needs it, they will send anybody and everybody they got to try to get things knocked out. But it's great for that GC to have extra contractors to go, hey, come help these people because their boat's about to sink so that we can open on time.
And it's all about making it great for the students.
Yep.
Don't get them air conditioning. No kid wants to be in school where it's hot all day and they're sweaty when they get out. It's hard to learn like that. So I love this. All right. We're going to jump into instructor training and I'm going to see how this goes, but I may have to get mad at Randy.
It's fine.
I've been mad at you before.
Always.
Well, not
That's
always,
fine.
not
not
always.
Like not 5 minutes ago.
Right.
But
No,
maybe
yeah,
in 5 minutes. Let's see.
Okay, it could change.
Instructor training here. How to help students master the tape measure early.
I like
Okay.
this. I like this.
Me too. Teaching them to read sixteenths is a foundational skill that supports layout, framing, cutting, and bitting.
Makes sense.
So important. Some exercises that you can try with them.
Okay.
Have a daily 3-minute mark the line drill using real tape, pencil, and a speed square. Call out measurements and have them draw it live. Example, like 9 3/8. have them mark it, have them square it, everything, and then go over and check it, see if they're right or not.
Okay.
All right. I kind of like that one. A pro tip here, instructors should challenge students to measure once, cut once, by drawing cuts on scraps and checking accuracy before cutting. Now, one of my favorite ways that I used to always teach my apprentices when I'd have those real apprentices, like, look, I want to learn tape measure. All right, you want to learn how to read it this week? Yeah. Okay, well, then I'd take out this piece of paper and I would draw an inch out, full size sheet of paper with all the marks that they needed to know for a tape measure. And I would write down above every single line what it actually was. I said, here, anytime you're standing there waiting for the next task to be given to you, pull this piece of paper out and study it. Half, quarters, eighths, sixteenths. Here's how it goes. Here's how the lines work. Da da da. And I would explain it to them. Most of the apprentices that would actually do that, and I'd see them, they'd have that piece of paper out all the time. Within 3 days, they could throw their piece of paper away.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so you put measure once, cut once.
As a practice, as a test for them. Correct.
I you ask any carpenter, they'll say measure twice, cut once.
Always.
Because you can't measure once and cut twice
That's it.
unless you cut too long. But even then, if you measure once, it still don't work. But why am I mad at you?
Why today? No telling.
You were going to order a game that we found.
Oh, I know. I
That
already
thing
know.
was cool.
That's still in my plans to be
Okay,
up
it's just
and
a
coming.
longer term plan.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
'cause
I get it.
I don't need it just to sit here, like
Well,
some of the
we
things
can make
that
a video
we
about
get. We can.
I think that would
We
be good.
can. We'll get there.
And maybe I'll teach you how to read tape measure.
I don't know how.
I know. I've seen some stuff you do. Did you see how big that toothbrush was you
I
made?
see 30 seconds and 64ths on tape
Did you see
measure.
how big
doesn't
that
have
toothbrush
marks.
is? I mean, toothbrushes are supposed to be this big.
Yeah, I measured it. It
There you go.
was this big. Like you said, 9-inch toothbrush, right?
I did.
That's not 9 inches.
That's probably what you tell your girlfriends, isn't it?
No.
Then
switch
what,
it.
Then what is
I
this?
switched that around. All right. That's 6 feet. Yeah.
There you go. Specialty hospital plumbing. Okay, so if you're going to specialize in something, I love stuff like this. And I talked about this the other day about getting service calls.
Yep.
Hey, are you MedGas? Yes, I am. Oh my gosh. And I'd have other plumbers call me and say, hey, are you still MedGas plumbers? Yeah. Do you work in dentist's office? Don't want to, but I will.
Yep.
But I didn't know any other plumbers that did it. So it's like when we got calls, it's like, okay, I'll go do it. Now, there's challenges and requirements to hospital plumbing, though. And most people don't even consider what all you can get into. But most hospitals require special piping systems. Not most, all.
Yeah.
Okay? If it's a hospital, even certain
close to
dentist
it,
office,
yeah.
there's special piping required. And I love that I can do it. I mean, that's just one of those things. It's very detail oriented. But your med gas, redundant water supplies, oxygen, vacuum, all that stuff. So it's neat. Everything falls under the ASSE 6000 standards and the Joint Commission audits. So literally when you're brazing, you've got to have a nitrogen purge because you don't want the oxidation inside there because that leads to particles that could get up in people's sinuses and stuff. And I mean, when they do a white glove test, they put pressure on it, they put that white rag in front of it, and they let it run. And if there's any particles in there, they're like, do it again. And you got to figure out how to get all that cleaned out. So doing your purge is huge. That was neat about being at Local 525 in Vegas this last week. They had a cool setup, and y'all will get to see it in the video over on the Roger Wakefield channel because that's going to be a good video. Their setup for brazing in there was amazing. But some real world examples. Cross connection prevention is critical. So if you've noticed when you're a plumber doing med gas, I had all the valves that I could plug into the headboard. That way I can purge, check and make sure the right line's being purged. And you've got to do a cross connection test that is crazy. But literally, like you have one system live and all the other ones are dead, and then you go plug these in every room in the hospital is anything crossed. Because the last thing you want to do is hook oxygen up somebody, and really it's vacuum. And now they can't breathe. They're unconscious, and you don't know it. So not good. But 6 violations in Virginia in 2019. They did this test. The facility audit found 6 violations and 1 inspection due to poor backflow setups. If you don't have things set up right, it's going to be issues. Now, you want some tips for working in a hospital? Night shifts are common to avoid interrupting the services. If you go, but remember, guys, hospitals have people in there around the clock. Infection control is paramount. When we worked out at Children's, we literally had these carts that you rolled up, and then you grabbed it and you raised it, and it had jacks, and you sealed off an area, because if you had to go in the ceiling, there could not be any dust floating around in the room. So you literally you walked in with your own room, raised the walls up, sealed it off, had your negative air machine, did your work, closed it all back up. It's a lot of work. But negative air machines and boot covers are required almost 100% of the time, anytime and everywhere you do work in there.
Yeah.
Have you worked in any hospitals?
I have. I worked Scottish Rite, but like in
That's one of my
retrofit
favorites. God, I love
in the
that one.
hospital itself and yes, you had to have booties everywhere, shoe covers, floor protectors, floor savers.
Floor savers, yes.
All the time. Now, like, I don't know if I was right or wrong. I was able to go around and open some ceiling tiles to peek occasionally without having all the setup.
You're fired.
I probably was.
But
you know, because
they're normally really clear about it.
Yeah.
So had that may not have been a requirement there.
Yeah, probably not. But the actual construction space, we had the negative air machines and everything, keeping everything just right for all the airflows and pressures that had to be around for the floor. Because even just stepping out into the little corridor there, you had patients there. It's a very normal thing working in a hospital.
And I got to tell you, one of my favorite things about working at Children's, because I worked over there for a while. When they move kids around, it's not just throw them on a gurney, grab the bed, let's go. It's like put them in the fire engine, put them in a car on the train, and then they got a little driver, an engineer that drives around and toots. And the ceilings in certain areas are black or gray, or maybe they're painted like the sky or something, but they have lights that look like shooting stars.
Yeah.
And I mean, just some of the coolest things I've ever seen. And it makes it fun. It makes it fun to be part of that, because you get to see, look, they're really taking care of kids. And you were at Scottish Hospital, and I went on a bike run. It was a poker run. And we met at met at the Shriners, or Scottish Rite, because that's who was going to get the money. And I remember them bringing out the kids that morning that were mobile and got to come out and see all the motorcycles. Oh my God. And I can't even go talking about it because I'll get all teary-eyed. But there was just this one little girl, looked like a little angel. She had a halo around her neck and had springs on it, helping hold her up straight. And she's got a roller walking around.
Yep.
And this girl's bouncing around and dancing like she's the greatest thing on earth.
Saw that a lot at Scottish Rite. Because we eat
I'm almost
breakfast
getting
right
teary-eyed
there.
talking about it. I'm telling you.
I see so many of the kids that they were attached to this front, and it was like, oh my God, like the first time you said, they are so happy.
Oh, they're living the most amazing life in the world. They're like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful.
That's it.
Yeah. It's a tough one. But it's neat to be able to be part of stuff like that. Know that either you're building it, or, you know, if you're not building it, oh yeah, you go ahead, sorry. Go back in and help do repairs, or if you can go on a poker run that benefits them, go do that. That's kind of neat too.
Yep.
It makes it fun and amazing. And I love the things that we get to do as tradespeople building it, but then getting to go back as a motorcycle rider and see the joy.
Yeah.
Cool way to put it.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll into social media. We're talking HVAC today because it's hump day, and tis what it is.
It's not hump day.
Is it
It's
not?
Friday
Oh,
Eve.
it's Friday Eve. That's right. It's Thursday. That's right. I said, wait, HVAC isn't on Wednesday.
Well, we got a new one here. The HVAC know-it-all.
Okay.
All right.
I've seen this one.
Gary McCready here, creator of HVAC Know It All. He hopes that you find this channel resourceful as he shares his life in the field. And guys, like, you got Mr. Fat Cheeto. Yeah, buddy.
You're
One
on
of our
the Fat
favorite.
Cheeto.
Man, he does some of the most hilarious shorts out there. He just has a good time, and I love to see tradespeople having fun with the different things that we get to do.
And we do get to have fun.
And I was gonna say, and like his isn't always just trade related. Like he was cutting a boot off of the wife's car the other day. It just, there's so many different things he does that are interesting and weird. But then he kind of goes through talking to a bunch of different people here, and
Here's one I like. I like this right here. Private equity is killing HVAC integrity. And it's not killing it, but here's the deal. Do you want all your money going to China?
yep,
Just asking.
that's it.
That's who owns most of the private equity. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you get back. I'll get off my soapbox.
I was gonna say he typically bounces off with somebody else, discussions, different things like that.
Oh, sorry. I hit the mouse. Okay, so what makes him great? Well, number one, not great. He's a Canadian HVAC tech with real world content, rants, reviews, install walkthroughs, and teaching moments. Now, I like the teaching moments. Anytime you get an opportunity to teach somebody how to do something new, you help them change their life. You really do. He's got an engaging mix of TikTok humor and long form YouTube content. He's known for reviewing new tools and calling out sloppy installs. We've done that.
We have done that before.
So, would his blunt style work in the United States market? Well, should more pros get real on camera? Mm-hmm. And I do think what he does will work here in the U.S. Look, but then again, North America lags in HVAC tech. Well, we lag in plumbers and HVAC technicians is what we lag in.
Yep. A bunch of different, like, brazing is holding back HVAC installation. Yeah. There's also press HVAC now. Yeah, I mean, which, that's always a debate. And actually, we'll be testing that here really soon.
We're going to be testing which? What are we testing?
Braze and press.
We are.
Oh, yeah. Bias Chambers back. No, that's over on the Roger Wakefield Plumbing YouTube channel.
Yeah, go check out Roger Wakefield Plumbing Education.
Plumbing Education. But guys, so many different things here. Let's see. I didn't even check the shorts this morning.
What I'm holding here is a sour
different things, different tools that he's talking about doing.
Back there, if you want to take note of it. So can you?
They
take
go
a
through
combustion
and like that's one of my favorites is just seeing some of the different things.
temporary strainer must be
Tearing it
removed
like this was
following
one of my
system
favorites to
cleanup,
do.
Max 24
back
hours.
whenever I was a pipe fitter, is
also
when you were doing some of these
written in
retros and you
yellow
were doing
here.
pump changeouts.
So
and
what we're
stuff.
going to do is
I
we're going
love
to open this
tearing
up.
into
We're
the
going to
old
we've already
equipment
loosened these.
and
We're going to
seeing
open
what's
this up
inside.
and look at what's inside and talking about how to remove
Now
that
this, what we got
construction
here.
strainer or startup strainer is what you would
About
call it,
removing
Joe.
strain.
Exactly. We
Suction
call it
guide
a
strainer.
startup strainer. It's a
Put it
fine
into
mesh
pump.
strainer.
We're gonna tear
Take a
in,
look.
see what all we
This
got
is
in
the-
that basket,
This is a
how
fine
it's all
mesh.
built.
Meant
And
to
man,
capture
going to
some
trade
of the
shows,
smaller
you see
pieces that
like
they bring.
they've got some
Of course,
strainers
fine
some
mesh,
ways.
it
that
means
have
that
magnets
it'll
in
get
them and
clogged quite
stuff.
easily.
That, oh
Yeah.
my
It's
gosh,
not-
guys. There are so many advancements in some of the most basic things I ever saw, like air separators, and they've got magnets that pull the different debris and stuff out of it. It's really cool. Like, look at this basket. It's got fins and waves in it now to keep the flow going and grab more particles
That's
out.
pretty cool.
So just all sorts of different things here, guys. And if you're not on social media and you're in the trades, it's time to get started. Show off what you do. Teach some people some things.
You know what? If you want to do YouTube, you need to check because April 21st, Monday,
It's coming.
we got something big coming out. And it's something you're going to want to see.
Definitely so.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be good, guys. We've got a webinar coming up.
We do.
You do.
On the 21st. Yes, we do. Look, I love all this. And I love what we get to see other people do on social media. And Randy's right. Look, if you've got a business, even if you're a technician, I hired a technician once because of all the posts that he did on social media that talked about his company. And I thought, you know what, this kid's doing pretty good. And he was really good at 5-star reviews. He was good at sharing with people why he did what he did. I'm like, man, I like this. So if you're a technician, you might want to think about getting into the trades or getting into social media. If you're interested in that, like I said, check us out Monday because we'll be talking about it. We may start talking about it Friday. Just saying, if you're here, you might get a little preview,
Sneak peek.
that other people might not get. And if you're interested in social media, and the reason that we talk about YouTube is you can take YouTube long form content, cut into shorts, and post on TikTok and Instagram or Facebook and LinkedIn and everywhere else. X. So sharing short content, clips, stuff like that is really, really good. See, I was trying to figure out where to do that a while ago. You did good. So anyway, guys, hang out with us on April 21st, Monday. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff. So question-wise, and my question for you is, if somebody wanted to get in the trades right now, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing, carpentry, I don't care. What would be your recommendation? How would you recommend? You're a pipe fitter, welder person. I get that. But say somebody came to you and said, hey, look, I want to get into plumbing. What would be your recommendation?
You like dealing with crap?
Become a pipe fitter. That's my recommendation. Okay, it's not the recommendation I was looking for.
I know.
Jeez, why did I ask you questions like that?
Because you set yourself up for that one. Honestly, get out and try it. That's a lot of my thing, is get out and try it, because I've had a lot of those green apprentices that thought they wanted to be plumbers, and then like 2 days in, they're like, look, this isn't for me. And it's like, yeah, you probably want to be an electrician.
Yep. Or I'm not smart enough to be a plumber. Yeah, become an electrician.
Every trade's different. Like I started learning plumbing because my whole family's plumbers. So I started learning plumbing. One of my favorite parts about it was the torch and things like that. That's what led me to, I wasn't going to get credit for plumbing. Okay, well then put me through as a pipe fitter, because I want to learn way more about that torch and welding and things like that, because that interested me. So if there's a trade out there that you find interesting, start with that one. Because even going and learning some of that one, a lot of those skills will carry over to any other trade if you want to expand your knowledge bank and do some other things. It's a great setup.
I love it.
That's how I feel.
I love it. Guys, this video is sponsored by Leak Pro. Leak Pro is the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And I know I am one, and we specialized in leak detection. Leak Pro, the complete kit. You've got the Sidekick with the aluminum rod, which helps you hear really, really well inside houses. You can put it down on the floor and hear right through the concrete, and it gives you what you need. The Leak Pro Probe is great for outside, stainless steel rod. You still hear really good. But we didn't want to give you an aluminum rod on a tool you're going to push into the ground, because you'll end up bending it. The stainless steel rod, the Leak Pro itself, the Leak Pro Probe, you can push that thing deep into the ground, and it really does. It helps you hear very well. The complete kit has both of those, has attachments you need to hook your compressor up, and it has 2 headphones. So if you're looking inside and outside, you've got it. You've got it for both people. I love it. If you want to learn more about that, go to Leak Pro. Go to www.leak-pro.com. Check that out. And if you're interested in the training, if you want to learn how to add more revenue to your bottom line, give Squirt a call. We have a training center here set up with 11 leaks under an extra thick slab. They're not easy to find. So when you do learn how to find them, you walk out of here like, wow, I'm good at this. And you really are. We've also got another one outside the slab, and we teach you to do more than just use your leak detection equipment. We teach you how to use test balls and hoses to find leaks on sewer systems, both on cast iron and PVC. And we've got it set up where you actually learn how to do it. So if you want to learn more about that, give Squirt a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And if you're the owner or the general manager, somebody like that, and you want to learn marketing, if you're here for the training, we'll bring it in. We'll talk about marketing, and I can teach you how to get your phone to ringing for leak detection. This has been fun today. Those of y'all that have been here before, thank you for coming back. And any first timers that are still around, guys, man, this is amazing. Take a picture of yourself with me and Randy there on the screen. Share it. Tag the Trade Talks Live. Tag Roger Wakefield. Whatever. We'll share it and make sure that we help draw attention to you too. So thank y'all for being here. And remember, whatever you do out there today, do it safe.
Man, happy Friday Eve, everybody. Tomorrow's Friday. I hope to see you back in here tomorrow. It is going to be fun. Guys, get out there, hit it effing hard. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a great